Welcome to Botches Off-Road. Join us as we talk about everything from gear reviews to trail stories, tent camping to rock landing, and all things to do with the outdoors. We have a pretty special episode. We got two other guests here today. We got Mike, we have Shane. How are we doing, guys?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good. We brought these guys on because we're going to do a little bit of a poker run decompress. It's been what 7 days since, so it'll be good to talk about what happened, the experiences everybody had, and these guys are part of our group too, so it is only fair to have everybody's insight on this. So guess to start off, did anybody have any breaks later down the road here other than Mark?
Other than me?
I mean, Mark hasn't talked about his breaks yet, so
No, I have not yet.
I mean, now being on the Toyota side of the house, I'm running healthy.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I think we have the whole group of Toyotas here. I think Mark, you ended up debeading your tire, right? So
Yes, that was the last obstacle. That was my fault. I should have aired back up from 10 psi to at least 15, but I was like, we can do it, make it for the rest of the day.
I blew out a driver's side shock, so that's fun.
I actually, yeah, that
Yeah,
sucks.
that's not your problem.
Yeah, it's not really your problem. It wasn't your car.
Yeah, but I have to fix it.
He does have to fix it.
Isn't your car stranded in like Cedar Springs with like a bad wheel bearing or something, or two of them?
No, it made it home.
It's
Okay.
I gave it back to him.
It's in front of the shop, looking cute and broken.
Yep. Yeah, yard ornaments. It's the best job for it. But I think I had a slight debead. Every time I went to work, I had to fill up to go to work. I have to fill up to go to lunch, and I have to fill up to get home. And that was really annoying. I got a lot of compliments on my air compressor system in the parking lot of my job. And
you guys sell that here?
yeah, they're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Do you like go off road?" And I look at my truck and I go, "Nah, I just like to air up in parking lots and show off my shit."
One of my
It's like you
favorite
dress up.
questions. Do you actually use that for off-roading? No.
My God.
It's just a really expensive lawn ornament. I parked it
Yeah.
in the driveway. Looks
To
really
be-
cool.
To be fair, if we didn't have so many mall crawlers around, they wouldn't have to ask this stuff. But it's almost you can't assume nowadays, man. It's
So true.
But so like I was telling Mark here when we were recording last night, I did a little bit of guy math, as we would call it, and I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna have to, have somebody take my tire off and rebeat it and anything. So since it's already coming off, Joe's got this killer price on these Wild Peaks. I'm like, man, if it's gonna have to come off anyway, I might as well just throw new tires on it and just call it a day. So somehow a $35 debead, I convinced my wife into just saying, hey, that's a really nice Christmas present, and I know you haven't gotten me anything, and technically it's my money. And she's like, yeah, we can make it work. I'm like, sweet. So $800 later, but I have 5 brand new Wild Peaks with like less than a couple thousand miles on them, and that was awesome, man. Took it to Never Enough. Had to back up to the garage door to drop all the tires off because they wouldn't fit in my FJ, of course. And they put those on, and then of course I'm right down. Like I told my boss I'd be there by 12. It's like 11:45. And they're like, yeah, hey, your spare tire carrier ain't fitting these on here because your tire's so big it's hitting the bumper. And I'm like, dude, come on, dude, just get it on. And they're like, we could try a spacer, and I'm like, just do it, just get it done, just do whatever you gotta do. So they go hunting for spacers, and they find like a Chevy like 5-lug or 6-lug spacer. Put it on there. Yeah, 6-lug. They put it on there, and they're like, yeah, this might work, but we're going to need bigger. They're like, hey, we're going to have to do like a 2-inch spacer. Is that okay? I'm like, I don't care. Just get my fucking spare tire up there, please. I got to go to work. So they end up getting a 2-inch spacer and put my tire up there. And they're like, hey, just so you know, I'd definitely get like a relocation kit later. And I'm like, yeah. And
hey, man,
but,
I've been running 2-inch spacers for the last 2 years. You're good to go.
yeah, I mean, it's just on my door. What am I worried about?
Yeah.
Except I could hear it.
So you're real good.
Yeah, I could hear it the whole time. I get every time I hit a bump. I'm not used to these tires being so stiff. Like they feel like everything's bumpier. It's just like a
Dump
they
them to
are
like 30 psi and just ride around on them for a month.
yeah they're at 35 right now, and I put them onto 20, and I was like, this rides a lot more like my workhorses now, like back to those. So now that my repair, which wasn't even like an issue, is all fixed. And my one debead's fixed, and nobody else had any issues. Guess we'll move on to the start of the day for the poker run. I think we all met up in Everett, and except for I guess Shane and everyone, we met up at Alex's house. We met Mike at Everett.
Mhm.
Everybody aired down. Everybody stole one piece of my air down kit.
I will definitely say, not having my Apex deflators, I don't think I would ever do that again. I miss them so much.
I'm like, everyone's like, I have two deflators, and then Alex has one, Mark has one, and we're all just waiting for each one to get done. It's like, man, this sucks.
Oh, the deflators are a lifesaver. I bought the quick releases for them, pop them on, walk away.
Yeah, okay. So you have the
You
same
can't
thing as I
beat
do
'em.
now.
Yeah, you can't beat them.
Yeah,
you can definitely beat them.
So you get one of those Kraken kits or something, but
Apex has actual valve stem that has a little valve on it, and you thread your pressure gauge on. You pull the stem, and it takes me about 10 seconds to air down all 4 tires.
Yeah, which, you know what, I don't need, but I think I like the quick releases a little bit more. Just, I think, preference. I like to be able to just pop them on there and then throw them in the side of my truck. And I don't know that I need anything crazy like that, because I feel like I just air down way too much. So you're like 10 seconds is a lot. I'm already like walking over to Mike to talk to him before I'd like turn back around and my tires are flat. So yeah, we did that, and then of course we had some issue with comms, so we had to share comms. And then
Shane was in the dark.
Wait, yeah,
He was
in
the
the dark, listening to my thoughts and my kids.
Which we kept talking about. You're like, hey, make sure you don't slam on your brakes so Shane gets the picture. Like, use your blinkers. But you know, Alex still has to give me my comms back, but he's kind of a hoarder.
Oh, and Shane, we voted on the trip and decided that you can become a member of Botches.
Yeah,
all right, I'll get the decal and get it set up.
Yeah,
so I'll get you a
apparently,
decal.
You talked to
I'll
MST.
Get you added to the group message.
I don't know, man. You talk to MST. Being a part of the Botches is like, it's like a death warrant or something.
Hey, dude, I came from Land Rover, so I've always been an outlet for MST.
Yeah. So that was so we started on comms, of course, and Alex also didn't have navigation too. He forgot his phone at home. Yep. Guy was a wreck because he slept in till 8, which is when we were supposed to meet.
No, we were supposed to meet at 8:30, but I still had to do chores.
Yeah. So I and my wife ended up having to impromptu lead, and which we did all right. Derek dropped the cords at what, 10:30, 11, something like that, or 10 o'clock, right?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yep. And Sienna put them into her navigation, locked them all in, and then we kind of went backwards, I think, right? We did.
Yeah, we hit 6 first, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And I think 6 was just the long coast, basically. Like, there was just a long drive. There's nothing really special about it.
If we did it from the other direction, then there's a decent hill climb. But we went down the hill climb.
Yeah.
Coming from the other side when we did that over the summer for 3rd Gen weekend, the other side of that was a full climb. But
so, knowing what we know now, I guess,
it's a walk.
Was it easier going the way that we did, or would have been easier the other way?
I'd say they're about the same either way.
Right.
The hill climb is just fun. It's just a neat hill climb.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's just a nice gentle rocky hill climb, nothing crazy.
Yeah. So then we moved to that one, and we found the cards. I honestly thought it was going to be a bigger flag or something, but it was like a little electrical company's flag. So I kind of jumped right out at us.
Derek's like, we'll have nice big flags that you can easily see, and they're these itty bitty little contractor flags.
Yeah.
No, I like how he marked it. He's like, they'll be blue, or maybe they won't be. Maybe they'll be
blue, or
we'll just have flags. I'm like, what am I looking for?
Yeah.
By the way, we're on a logging road, so there's
exactly. I was just about to say that too. We got orange logging flags on the left and right, and we're like, "Do you see cars? Do you see them?" No.
And we also got all the random pink and blue ribbons that have been strung out over multiple years.
Exactly. Yep. I'm thinking, are these hunting flags or what?
I was thinking he would have used like Rocks and Valley flags or like Dune flags, That makes sense being an off-road event.
Maybe even an MST flag or something, just
right.
Yeah, like we gave
hang one of those out. Yeah. So we did that simple trail there. And then we went to number 5. And that was a off Camber Hill climb. And the way that was described is that you'll go down the same way that you came up. If you try to follow the trail west into the wood, it dead ends.
We did 5 last.
Oh, you're right. That was the bad one.
5 was the debead.
The debead.
5 was ugly.
Yeah. That's you guys are right.
Especially after 50 trucks had already gone up it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we started with 1 after we hit 6. That's what it was. And that was on supposedly a blue trail. That was called the Everett Sunrise Lake Hill Climbs. And we did that one. It was a small, challenging hill climb. We entered from the north, and we were driving up east, I think. And that one, we ended up going up that one, I guess, backwards. And I guess it wasn't really all that hard to get up it if you just missed the one rock that smacked my axle like the first time I tried it. So that was like, that one scared me and Sienna. Like, it was a dead stop. Like, it was just driving, and then boom, and everybody's head went forward, and we're like, oh, there's something there. We hit it. So that was nice. We got up top of that, and then right at the top of that freaking hill, it already starts coming back down. We grabbed the flags, or we grabbed the cards up there. We met up at the bottom of the hill, and then I think everybody made it up that one easily. I don't think any of us had problems with that one.
Yeah.
Even the black truck walked up that one.
Yeah. And then we met up at the bottom, and we were just kind of chit-chatting, talking about the trail so far, and then we had a big-ass Tahoe come through, and that was like, how much lift was that on there? 6 to 8?
6
the
inches
frame
of
was
lift,
lifted even.
The frame. It's not that the frame was lifted.
The body.
The body wasn't even lifted.
On 8 inches of lift.
It was just that it was a Tahoe, a GMT 800 Tahoe on a 3500 frame that was shortened.
Right. There you go. Yeah, that was just a really cool build too. We watched him go up that. We had to sit there and watch it. I thought he was just so high that some of these steeper hill climbs are going to be kind of an issue, just being so top heavy. But he walked right up. No problem.
What was his YouTube channel? We should give him a shout out.
Bro, I was just say broke, not built, but I'll have to look that up. We'll link it. What is it?
Broken to built.
Yeah. Yep. And we'll have to link him in the comments here too.
Show notes, yeah.
In the comments, like it's YouTube. But and then we so after we did that one, we hit down to number 2, and that was a kind of a taller hill climb. We pulled into that, and that had kind of like a little play area.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of little stuff that we could have went and actually played in. And I don't think we really ended up doing that. We just kind of pulled in and started scouting out for the climb once the guys.
Was that the one when they had the Children of the Corn?
Yeah. So when Mike and I we went up the one hill we thought it might have been up of one of the easier sides, because knowing Derek, we were kind of thinking it was going to be maybe on one of the easier climbs.
Yeah, they kind of teased potentially making one of them a poker run, so that's why I thought automatically was on that side because they teased about it.
Right. So Mike and I went up that one, and we're kind of looking around for a flag because obviously they're not super easy to find. So we're sitting there looking for a small pink or blue or yellow or orange flag with cards next to it. And then we look out to the distance and Mike goes, "Hey, do you see those kids?" And I'm like, we're all looking around, me and my wife, and we're like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And what was it, probably 60, 70 yards out? There's
at least.
there's like 3 or 4 kids just standing in a line staring at us by like the lining of the woods. And we're like,
Are those the hikers that met us on the other side?
Those
They
ended
could
up being
have
the
been.
hikers.
Yeah, but you didn't see the parents before. All you
It was
saw were
just
the
kids.
kids
They were just
standing in a
staring at
line
us.
without parent supervision. And we're like, yeah, all right, well, we're not sticking around here.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it. So we went down, and then Mark, you could hear him, all right, I think it's up here. So we went and tried to get up that hill. And I think I ended up putting in low gear and then third is what you guys were recommending. Putting in low gear third. Went up that pretty easily, got up there. And then I think we found the cards right off the bat up there. Then the hiker.
And then I followed you up in 4 high and drive.
Yeah, he just had to
and
eat.
then
Mike.
Then Mike. And then Mark tried like 100 times.
Yeah, and then I decided to air down to 10 and got up there with no issues that time.
Yeah, we'll just ignore how I did on that hill.
Shane gave it some valiant effort. I think you could have, yeah.
I think Shane, if he aired down to like 15, he might have made it. I know he was at 20 like I was.
Yeah, I was rolling 20 PSI and
I was at 15.
Yeah, you would have rolled right up it. Yeah. I think I was at like, my exact math, I think it was like a 13 and a half, something like that. Because I meant to hit 15, but I was too busy chit-chatting or waiting for another piece of air equipment to complete my collection. So I ended up being like 14 and a half on one, 13 on another. So it just gave good traction to every other wheel, when A-track was engaging.
Yeah. It's quite the hill climb. The last little bit is the worst part because you got the little zigzag and then it's just loose sand. There's a lot of loose sand right at the top there.
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I actually slowed down when I got up there. I didn't actually make it all the way up clear. Up or about Shane stopped. I think I stopped a little before that. Backed it up and hit it again just from where I was up there and got up the rest. But I just didn't have enough.
Especially if you're open. That would be terrible, open.
I'm close.
Do you have a front, rear, and center?
No, I thought you just had what you were talking about.
Oh, lockers.
Yeah. No, I just have. I
had my rear locker on.
Yeah, same.
I think yours. I think yours and Mark's both. I don't think you need a center locker because I don't think you have a center diff.
I don't think so.
But the third gen Forerunners, we have a center diff and the front and rear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm just rolling center.
Right, that's all that was on the black truck too.
Yeah.
The silver truck is locked in the center and then has a rear locker.
Oh, right. So did we hit lunch after that one, or was it after number 3?
We hit lunch at number 3.
Yeah, at number 3. You meet at 3. You meet at 3, Gavin.
Yeah, so Mark and I did 3, which was like a little woodsy loop.
Mud.
Lots of mud.
Lots of mud. We definitely did some jumping and skipping around getting through that, and it was pretty rough. Sienna bumped her head a shit ton of times. Came out of there quite concussed. My son thankfully was somewhat secured. He was holding on to the car seat for dear life, and we made it out of that pretty good. It was just that one little loop going around the corner that was pretty much the one issue.
That one's fun. That whole loop is fun.
It was cool. You could definitely feel like the ice, the large chunks of ice in there.
Oh yeah.
As you were going through it, but Yeah, we made it through that one. That was pretty cool. And then we ended up stopping to get lunch. And what did everyone eat? I know what 3 of you ate because you
Hot
ate
dogs.
what I ate. Mike, what did you eat? Did you have a Uncrustables or something?
No, we had frozen pizza from the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
actually,
we went easy with it. I was going to bring steaks, and Lisa's like, no, don't waste your time cooking steaks. We won't have that kind of time. Had I known we had that kind of time, I would have definitely brought steaks.
Me too.
If I knew we had 45 minutes.
I didn't bother bringing the chicken setup. I just threw Lunchables for the kids. And
Yeah.
We brought Lunchables for the kids, and we had the frozen pizza.
Dude, when I was cooking up hot dogs, Mike walked up to me. He's like, "Please tell me you're not cooking up steaks." And I looked at him and I'm like, "No," but in my head I was like, "We were gonna too. We were gonna." and then by the time I got done cooking all the hot dogs, I was like, "We could have cooked up a couple of steaks in that same time. What am I doing with my life?" And so he got me like, I told Sienna, I said, "From now on, if we ever go anywhere, we're just cooking steaks, not hot dogs.
It's all red meat.
It's all red meat. Yeah, mostly. And we had the Colgill's jalapeno cheddar hot dogs, and then Sienna had like chili cheese brats. And man, I tell you what, thank God we didn't have any kind of issues on the trail, but at home, those hot dogs are one of those hot dogs that you eat at home or at like a barbecue with a toilet. Like,
gotta carry the emotion just in case.
Yeah, dude, what's your need?
Yeah. I got home and it was explosion, man. It was bad,
but it was kind of worth it. They were delicious hot dogs. That's just kind of
they were delicious.
You end up paying later. So we end up doing we did 3. We had the cards are pretty much right at the beginning anyway, so I don't think we. Oh wait, was that the one that were right at the beginning? So we didn't have to do it, but we did anyway.
Yeah.
So then we kind of chit chatted for a little bit because from experience, Alex's experience, and everybody else's that's done it before. The path from 3 to Poker Run number 4 was pretty rough. Lots of mud, lots of deep holes. Pretty treacherous.
Thank God it was dry.
RIP the best trail on the loop.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I really wanted, our group to hit all 5. I don't know. I was just kind of pushing for it, and I was still kind of having a blast. So we ended up, making that run from 3 to 4, and God, did we find some stuff, but we, most of it was passable. Between bypasses and stuff like that. I did sink my truck into a hole and have to have Mark back me out of that one pretty quick.
Yeah.
But as I was kind of the tester too. So if I could make it, just about anybody else could at that, with my stock tires and everything pretty much. So, I pretty much drove into that hole and I just felt that same thud, like I hit something and everything stopped. And I'm like, yep, not even going to try to climb up that one. So
everybody in the car just shifted forward.
Yep. They looked at me. I rolled the window down and I heard blub, 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 blub. And I was like, I got right on there and I go, yep, Mark, pull me out, buddy. So it was pretty easy for Mark to pull me out. We didn't even hook up properly. Just kidding. We did. We totally did. But
did we have a winch with us at all? Mike, do you have a winch?
Yeah, I've got one.
I was saying Mike had a winch.
Oh. So we did have a winch if we needed it. Sounds good.
Yep.
Not full poverty crew.
Yeah. Yeah, we have Bougie Mike with us here. Bougie Mike and the boys.
Man, this isn't a warrant or anything like that, all right? It was like the Amazon special. But I'll tell you what, it's worked every single time I've needed it to.
That's all you need. Exactly.
That's all you need.
I run an X-Bull, so I get it. I think I paid like $300, but it always works.
That's what mine is.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to run too when I get mine. Yep.
Granted, I've got a $200 end link on it, but
Hey, I've got the same end link, so
yeah.
Except my the rubber on my end link keeps falling off, and now I've only got 2 pads instead of 4.
Yeah.
Well, see, that was kind of one of those instances where, as you were saying, you were doing the guy math, because that's what happened to mine. I pushed it into a rocket, last August. I'm like, man, now that rubber fell off, I got to figure out something. And that's where I found that cover for the rope saver.
Yeah, that's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up doing an ultra hook soon though.
You know, we'll have to show some pictures in the show notes or something, or maybe our chapter art, just so people know what that looks like. Yeah. So we did. We did that one. We went to we're at 4 now.
Yes.
Yep.
And that was a long water crossing. Derek's description with this one was use extreme caution in the area between 3 and 4 when going through the puddles. Stick test multiple parts of each mud hole, as some mud holes have deeper parts depending on where you drive through them. So we definitely had stick testers out there. I had Sienna with our Toyota Takeover Silver Lake Dunes flag, and she was just poking
swimming.
She almost went swimming. I had that on video. That was I would have loved it that moment. I knew the rest of the ride would have been just hell, So, and she would never stick test for me again. So I was so glad that she had called in. I like having her as a stick tester. I didn't have to get out as much. So that was really good. And we honestly, a lot of those holes that we hit weren't bad. They weren't as bad as we thought they were going to be.
No.
If you straddle them, because the sign isn't there for a
vagina trail.
Yeah.
But my alternator from this summer can confirm that if you go center on that pit, it's
yeah, for sure, straddling. And we did that trail, and we bypassed through that one, right?
Yeah, we didn't do the main water. We didn't do the main water crossing because last time we were there, I got stuck. We're like, we're good this time around. Kind of find out everyone made it through it.
Some of the videos that guys posted, it didn't look that bad, though.
No, it didn't. That hurt me a little bit because I was like, that was the perfect chance for us to get some cool watercross videos.
Like I told you, this time around, it was way drier down there than it was.
You did.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot like what me, Alex, was the first time we were out there, where I made back that crossing, no issues. Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to hit it in mid to late summer again, maybe when it's drier, just to see what everything was like.
Oh, it doesn't get dry.
It doesn't get drier than that.
No,
I don't mean dry like dried up, but
I mean, you got to think we went through in August and it was a swamp.
Yeah. Well, maybe not then. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't my Land Rover to get Toyota reliability. First wheeling trip out, and I post my alternator.
Blows up his alternator.
Yeah, Toyota reliability, it extends up until the alternator, and then that's where it stops.
I still remember our first trip. We went on our first trip, and it was really wet. Like insanely wet. I think it rained for 3 days straight. And I remember like the first day, Derek's like, yeah, anybody with Toyotas, you should probably keep your truck running for, a half hour or two just to dry out that alternator. And I'm like, oh, great. Fantastic. Here we go. That was the first thing I bought. I got back, jumped on Rock Auto. I'm like buying an extra alternator, and a TV shaft.
Yep. Nope, that's something that I'm going to have to start carrying around with me, is just a spare alternator. I just know that one of these times one of us is going to lose one. So,
well, and even if you don't get a premium one, it's just something to limp home with.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Exactly. So yeah, we got through. We made it pretty well through 3 to 4. Kind of had us feeling a little bit better. Like I said, we took all the bypasses that we could. And then we got to number 5, and that was the final and last. And that one, as we were going up to it, I don't really even know what I was thinking going up to it. There was a couple of you guys like, no, probably not. But I'm like, come on, it's right there. I could see it. And so I knew that I was going to challenge myself a little bit with this off camber stuff. And I was like, I'm sure it's fine there. But then we got into that rut area where it was just, what do you guys think?
4 foot deep rut.
Yeah, a 4 foot rut. And I'm like, oh God, you can hear me. I have my video on this whole time I'm on the truck, and you can hear me go, yeah, guys, I don't know about this one.
Stock wheels and tires, very little lift.
Yep. And so, Alex is like, you
No
need me to
sway
come out
bars.
there? And yeah, exactly. Alex is like, you want me to come out there and like take a look? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm not sure. I need some actual expertise out here. He came in and he's like,
I'm glad you did it.
uh-huh.
I said, selfishly, I'm glad you did it because
yeah, honestly,
he's like, hey, you mind if I drive your truck for that off-camber section? I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah, no, I looked at it, and honestly, I got to a point on there when I've explained this to Alex and Mark to where I felt like, for me, backing up would have almost been more dangerous than it would have been just to try to push forward.
Oh, yeah.
So
backing up,
you'd have definitely done more damage. I mean, I think
Yeah.
you'd have done more damage for sure.
I don't think that I had the experience. I had the experience, I guess, to go up it, but to back down it and still hit the right line, I think I would have ended up doing more damage. So to me, the only way forward was forward, and I majorly regret it. I just wish I wouldn't have went up it. It was really cool. It's really cool. It was like really cool hindsight when I went and laid on the ground and was like, okay, nothing is broken. My wheels are still straight. I don't have air hissing out of my tires that I know of. And it's like, I felt cool for a second. Everybody's giving me like, hey, congrats, here's your kudos. And I'm like, I never want to do that again. Like ever. I was like, it's like, that's where the stress is just too much. Like, because I'm looking at my wife's just like, oh, she's clenching over there too. There was a point where we're trying to straddle the rut and we just fall right into it. And and Mark knows what I mean. Like, you could reach out your window and just touch mud and grab a handful. It was deep.
Yeah, all I heard was no from Alex. And silent, like, all right, I'm heading up. I'm gonna probably regret this later, but I'm heading up to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I got video of that too. It's Alex goes left or driver, and then just boom, and it's I go right into that 4-foot rut, and
because you weren't turning it driver. You had it straight.
It was not. It wasn't turning well, man. It was not doing what I asked it to do. It was like, can I just go back? I'm done. Like, it was. Even Barry was like, bro, I think you bit off one you could chew. I'm like, I agree, buddy, but we're in this together. So we ended up getting through it. There was a point where I thought, from my driving experience, I felt like we were on our side on the body panels. It's what it felt like to me. And Alex was like, you're good. You're not tipped yet. And I'm like, well, the damage is done. I'm getting the fuck out of here. So, I slammed it, reversed, and just kind of slammed the hill a couple times, hoping I could dig something up to at least get up it. And then eventually got up it. Checked the whole side. Everything was good so far. And I'm like, okay, take a breath. Let's get out of here. And Mark's behind me. And I'm like, oh yeah, Mark's why? And Mark comes right up it, and I'm like, I see him doing real well, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's good. He's just gonna climb right up this. Everyone else is gonna have
most of it by myself.
Yeah,
I think I had to bump it one area, but that was about it. Other than that, and then I stopped and was waiting to see how you were doing.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, Mark's gonna climb up, and everybody else is gonna be able to climb up it too after this. So. And then I watched then I watched Mark slide right into that same fucking rut. And I'm like, ooh. And that's just when he was done. So we heard something hiss. And
I heard a pop. Please tell me I did. Yeah, I heard a pop. I'm like, oh, please tell me I just didn't break a CV axle. Didn't think it was a debead.
I thought it was either a CV or ball joint.
That's what I thought.
Definitely everyone was feeling it, heard it.
Yeah,
I can tell you right now, there was no way that I was driving that black truck up that hill. No, stock height, still has sway bars. No way in hell.
Nope. So Mark debeaded pretty well.
Yep.
At that point, we all knew that it was better to just pull them up. So we had they hooked the strap up to me, and I yanked a couple times. I was trying to be really gentle because the whole time, and Alex was like, you got to really get on it. And I'm like, I know. Like, I get it. I'm like, but every time I, slam on the gas, I see these videos of people like having the straps snap through the cabs of the vehicles, and so that was going through my head. I'm like, I'm just trying not to give it too much beans. And
well, usually those people don't have it connected to a proper tug point, and they also will, and they'll loop the strap and then hook it back to the main vehicle. Right. And both of those are a big no-no.
Yeah, looping the strap back to the vehicle is no different than putting 2 condoms on. It's just it makes it worse, and it's not as safe. And at the end of the day, someone's getting fucked. So
unless you got a D-ring at the end,
right? Yeah. We call those Prince Alberts, and so but anyway, we got him up. And we used everything in my truck. I had jack out of my truck. I had like this cheap ass 2-ton floor jack. We had that out. We had my traction boards out, air compressors out. My wife's digging my fender out from the mud with my gloves, which I come to find out today. I went to go look for my gloves, and I'm like, why are my what is this? I have a piece of red sticking out of mud, and I go knock them off, and it's my gloves, my winter gloves. I'm like, I looked at my wife, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. She's like, I had to get your fender out,
you gotta make sure that everyone knows we didn't use the traction boards as traction boards. They were just a base for the jack.
For traction for the jack, so it still works.
He's not wrong. It was
clicking. So traction boards work, everybody. They don't work in mud, obviously. sloppy mud. We all know that, but for a couple of times that I have used them, they do
for a jack base.
Yep.
I think I've only ever used mine to level my truck when I'm getting ready to set up my tent. And that's about it.
You know, it's one of those
most expensive tent levelers ever.
Yeah, right. They're there though if you need them. So I feel like
you never need them.
Yeah. See, that's where you're wrong, buddy. We used them. That counts. Hell, I forgot they were even there.
The one time I've tried to legitimately use them as traction boards failed miserably during third gen.
Was that? Yeah, they just shot out behind the truck.
Duncan launched one of them, and the other, his tire wasn't even contacting. So
slams on the gas and shoots a max track out. Why didn't they work? I don't know. You fucking shot them out like a Hot Wheels out of their.
He wasn't even slamming on the brakes. He was just gently pushing them, and it was just like whoop behind him.
No, like I said, I've seen them work in certain occasions, certain uses. They have their own. I used them for my buddy when we were up on. He had a stock Traverse, so I used it with him for one of the little places, and he actually used it more like a bridge, if anything, just so he didn't go super off camber and hit his bumper. So. I mean, they have their uses here and there, but
I feel like if you have to use max tracks, you're not actually stuck.
I don't know.
You can always get out of a situation without max tracks.
I think deep sand is the equalizer.
Yeah, I would say deep sand. I've seen a lot of.
I would say like deep sand, deep powdery snow. Those are the kind of situations where I see those doing really well. Like mud, they don't do super well in mud.
A lot of those.
They're using on my Ford Maverick when I was in my lawn in the snow.
Yeah, there you go. That's embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah, I've seen a lot of like the Australian overlanders. They'll use max tracks to get like unstuck out of deep sand and stuff, but you don't see a lot here, that's for sure. But
I run mud terrains, so deep sand is like the last place I need to go.
Right. Yeah. The other thing is having the proper tires to get through a situation.
Yeah.
And at that time, I did not have the proper tires to get through this situation. I probably would have went through it a lot easier if I had something with a lot more like side tread, any kind of tread at all, comparatively.
Yeah.
Now that I like guy math my way into Wild Peaks, I have something that's gonna get me through pretty much anything I need to now. So We finally got everything all fixed up in Mark's truck. We threw everything back in ours, and we were cutting it real close to the 4 o'clock off the road timestamp, I think is what it was, or off the trail.
We're like an hour late.
Well, it was supposed to be 4 off the trails, 5.
It was supposed to meet at the place at 5.
Yeah. So they were just wondering where the fuck we were all at. Because
I think after Derek's second cigarette, waiting to see how it turned out, he said, "Just bring the cards back and meet us."
Yeah, right. Yep. So we kind of got back on the trails. We took some. And by the way, we, instead of going back down that hill on number 5 because that was the way we were supposed to go, Alex did some scouting and he found a little bypass to get back down it without going down there. And it wasn't as hard.
Wasn't here.
Yeah, it wasn't as hard, but I tell you what, it was a lot better than going back down that fucking hill. So yeah, we got back on the trails. We kind of doubled back a little bit, I think, back onto our original, I think it was number 6 trail. And we got back into the town. We sat there at the bowling alley, and pretty much as soon as we got there, we did the card thing. They had no seats left. I mean, that's kind of when we saw how big that MST party was. It's like, holy shit, this isn't even all of them. I'm sure some of them just went home. And that place was packed with people. And then we had 30 people there, something like that. I mean, I would say trucks, more than people, for sure.
Had to have been more than
plus
that.
Trucks was what Derek said.
How many?
25 plus.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a really, really good turnout, honestly, to one of those events. And, credit where credit's due to the staff, dude. They were scurrying around like ants. There was only a couple of them.
The one woman had a shell-shocked look on her face.
Yeah, she's seen war.
Walking in, and she's like, huh?
She's like shaky. She's like, I never want to do this again. Just curling up behind the pool table, shaking.
They had to find us a table.
Yeah. They literally brought us out a
table.
6 foot
we were
folding
lucky.
table.
Drew got up with his boys and left in there. He's like, "You want our table?" We're like, "Yeah, we'll take it."
Yeah, for real. So we got there. We chit chatted for a little bit. Derek did the few prizes, I think, and this is where Derek was like, "Oh yeah, okay, maybe we have some learning tips for next year. Maybe not putting 2 full decks into each flag area."
Yeah.
Because they ended up coming with I think there was 6 guys with royal flushes.
Yeah.
And I had the second highest hand, so I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll get second place in something. And then he goes, "How many of you got royal flushes?" And then half the room's like, "Yeah, me." I'm like, damn it. So
did all of us at least make a hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been too hard.
I had 5 of a kind. Yeah,
I
tried.
I had 5 of a kind.
5 of a kind.
Yeah,
what did you have? 5 of a kind what?
I did 9s and 10s. So Lisa had 10s and I had 9s.
Damn, you guys were doubled up. You were ready.
I had 8s.
Oh,
yeah,
I had
8s.
Okay.
I had 5 of the same suit. I was trying to go with royal flush, but I was short 1 card for that.
Oh.
Yeah, so I ended up having the second. I think next poker run, just do 1 deck and have it shuffled, and then just honor system, take the top card and go. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. Me and Alex talked about this, and he said when he's ran poker runs, they had actually people at the checkpoints, but
I don't think I was thinking.
Yeah,
I think you could find 5 or 6 people that would be willing to relax all day, chill out, and just have a good time.
Shit,
I think admins and mods of that group.
Yeah.
I'd prop up a diesel heater, set up a little shelter, and just hang out all day, drinking beer,
drink beers, winch people out.
Now that I'm a group expert, I would gladly sit at one of those spots.
There you go. So that was really cool.
Muscle relaxers I had to take after this. I'd go hit one obstacle that I wanted and chill there for the rest of the day.
Yeah. I ended up I ended up with a back pain so bad that I'm still have a tight spot in my back.
Oh, I believe it.
I spent 3 days when I couldn't turn my neck either direction.
Oh, jeez.
Like it was awful.
That full body turn to check the mirrors.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
Yep. I know that pain all too well. Yeah. Damn.
And I'll tell you, digging shavings out of a turkey barn when your back hurts? Oh, hell no. Nah.
Yeah.
You're in like Batman 1 suit where he's like,
yeah,
full body movement just to look.
I was ready to die, man. That was awful.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though. I tell you what, it was. I think that was one of Derek's coolest events that he's put out. Definitely a really good start to this year. I definitely look forward to what's to come on as far as the events and stuff coming from MST. I know.
I hope he does more of those. I hope he does more of those gamified ones. That was really fun.
Yeah. I know Botches. We want to do something around at some point later in the summer that's somewhat similar. But we'll see how that goes just with scheduling and everything, if we can actually do it. But it'd be really cool to do something revolving around that.
Oh, yeah.
We were kind of looking at doing more of like a cryptid hunt. So like a kind of like a search for the cryptids, but kind of the same thing. You're going to pick up each trail or each obstacle that you do, you'd get one of the cryptids for, and you're going to try to find all of them.
Sticker.
Yeah, like a sticker or something for it.
Make a 2-foot wood carving or something out of it.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking of. Yep, we were thinking about painting it black, and one of them should be like a garden gnome. Yeah.
Geocaching. Or
yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
So that we were thinking about doing something like that. It'd be a lot of fun.
Actually, stashing geocaches around Everett would be really fun.
Yeah.
Just in general.
There's a lot of those that they do throughout the country, and they always look like they're having a blast.
I'd done geocaching, and I really enjoyed it. It was more of a hiking thing, but it would be really cool to do an off-road geocache around Everett and just to post up the cords and do that.
When I worked at the factory, every time that we had to go count parts at one of the other suppliers, we would stop at like every truck stop on the way back and do a geocache.
Yeah. No, that would be fun. That might be an idea that we should think about doing some geocaches up there. Everett's got a lot of diversity, so
for sure. Now that we're reaching the end of the podcast, what's everyone's drink of choice tonight?
I was rolling bourbon.
Bourbon?
I feel so stupid, but Tropicana refreshers, man. This is supposedly for my son, and I got it like 3/4 of the way drank.
Bush latte.
Yeah,
we're gonna be at work in about 5 hours.
Oh God, yeah.
I've got Only Tourists from Shorts Brewing Company.
Yeah, you fancy.
It's a really good hazy IPA.
So,
I'm almost to the end of this whole concoction of stuff that my brother bought.
The Hard Mountain Dew.
Hard Mountain Dew.
Hard Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Is that any good?
It's okay. It's not my preferred choice.
Yeah,
especially the pineapple. Especially the pineapple.
Dude, what were those seltzer waters he bought that were just so bad?
By
Ranch Hand or whatever?
Yeah, Ranch something. Yeah.
Ranch my water God.
Something. Yeah.
They're so gross.
Yeah. He did it because some podcast that he follows was drinking them. Like, what is
this?
This?
Definitely a sponsored drink there.
Oh, dude,
drink Ranch Hands. They're so good.
I tried every single flavor that they had, and every single one made me want to throw up. Like they were so gross.
Nope, I'm good. Well, it was really great having you guys come in here and help us with this. Good kind of having a recap of all of our group. I think after that we all hurried home. We all wanted to get the hell out there, and Shane and I ended up waiting a good hour for our pizza. And,
I won't say the pizza was worth the wait, but the kids passing out in the back seat by the time I was out of the parking lot, worth the wait.
That's great.
We stopped and got Wendy's in Newego, and I'll tell you that the the 10 minutes we waited for Wendy's was definitely worth the wait.
Yeah, no, Shane and I Shane's kids are pretty much done with their pizza by the time we got ours. And Jasper was just throwing a fucking fit because he was hungry. And then we get our pizza and they're like, careful, it's hot. And I'm like, perfect. I'm like, that's exactly what we need is a boiling hot pizza for my son. I'm like, what a way to end the night. And Shane looks at me and he goes, hey, man, you can have one of mine. I'm like, please, because this kid's fucking killing me.
I'm not taking anything home.
Yep. So he gave me a piece of his, and I'm like, the kid finally starts calming down a little bit. And I'm like, I'm ready to get out of there. So
I thought it was hilarious. Jackson wanted to go home since we hit obstacle like 3.
Yeah.
And then when we got home, he's like, no, I don't want to get out.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they always do it. But yeah, we ended up leaving, and I went straight to that car wash that Derek was talking about, and that was a big boo-boo. I should have just went before while the mud was still wet. Right. All the mud was frozen on there. Thankfully, the car wash had some warmer water, but
we were going to do that, and I ended up just going. I'm like, no, we're just going to head home. I figured I'll fight it the next day.
I couldn't. I had a speed wobble at 35.
Yeah, we didn't have it too bad. So
yeah, I had a speed wobble at 35.
Muddy.
Yeah, I bet.
I have not washed it.
I washed my rims off because I got an appointment for reseating all my rims now, but I washed those, but I didn't wash the actual truck. So I got to do that.
We've got a car wash here that's unlimited for $9.
Yeah.
So you can sit there for 3 hours if you want. So
that would have been really
stop
nice.
there the day or two after and just
loop
for
it.
an hour, just hose that thing off.
Yep. The Sienna always complains about that.
I have a car wash that's always free because it's the tank sprayer at the farm, and it works great.
Nice.
Yeah, until you soak the underside of your truck for 3 hours and it won't start.
Oh, I've never done that.
Yeah, right.
It started.
Eventually.
I actually put a sprinkler under there one time and let it run for like 18 hours at the farm, and it was beautiful underneath.
After it dried out and started, yeah.
It started right up.
Yeah, something's going on, guys. It's not starting when I turned the key.
That was a loose battery terminal. I figured it out.
Either way. Potatoes, tomatoes, man. But, hey. Yeah, I think it is. It's bedtime for everyone. So,
sure.
I appreciate you guys, Mike, Shane, for joining in. It was
thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah,
it was great having you guys on the trail with us. So we haven't Shane, we hadn't met in person before, so it's really nice to meet you. Yeah, Mike, it's been too long.
I know. We got to get back out there.
Yep. So, but yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for listening to Botch's Off-Road Podcast. You guys have a good night.
Thanks, man.
All right. Catch y'all later.
Later.